The way that the media is covering this LA fire situation is interesting. But I want to play y'all something from why are the people on the Republican side listening to podcasters give out news? Y'all listen to this.
Fireman once. This is one of the reasons it freaked me out. And he was telling me, he goes, dude, one day, he goes, it's just going to be the right wind and fire's going to start in the right place and it's going to burn through LA all the way to the ocean. And there's not a thing we can do about it. I go, really? He goes, yeah, we just get lucky. He goes,
y'all, we're talking about felonies that never existed that were dropped and dismissed on y'all's channels. People like Joe Rogan was trying to save LA, but y'all was calling it misinformation and fake news, and he believes in UFOs. These are the type of people y'all try to discredit.
Get lucky with the wind. He goes, but if the wind hits the wrong way, it's just going to burn straight through LA, and there's not going to be a thing we can do about it. Because these fires are so big, dude. When they're talking about like thousands of acres that are burning simultaneously with like 40-mile-an-hour winds. And the wind's just blowing embers through the air, and those embers are landing on roofs, and those houses are going up, and they're landing on bushes, and those bushes are going up, and everything's dry. And once it happens in a way where it's so spread out that there's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do.
You just have to evacuate, right?
Nothing.
That's the fake news that y'all talk about. And you want to know what's interesting? I've brung this up multiple times since it happened. The last presidential debates with Pence and Kamala, the only thing that stood out to me during that whole debate cycle was when Mike Pence said, you guys are playing politics with American lives. So I think that is kind of interesting that the Democratic media and the women on The View and all those people who now want to say, oh, it's not a time to point the finger. It's a time to help and all that bull crap. Y'all wanted to point the finger during COVID. Y'all literally tried to blame COVID on Trump. That's what y'all did. They made COVID into a political issue. But now when it's clear, like we're not debating, we're not arguing, we're not nothing. It's clear that Gavin Newsom's fumble and mishandling is the reason why this took place. Now y'all don't want to talk politics. No, this is a political issue if it could have been avoided. It's people like Joe Rogan who had firefighters and people who knew this stuff. If Joe Rogan knew this because a firefighter told him, how many other firefighters knew this? You think that this firefighter only told Joe Rogan this? He probably told somebody that could do something about it and they didn't do anything. And so now we're seeing the effects of it and we just want to kumbaya. No, let's point the finger at who's the problem with this. We can, two things can be true. We can help and pray and do all this stuff for the victims and point the finger at Gavin Newsom. So don't try to tell me that this is not a political issue. It is. It absolutely 100% is. Bottom line, I'm going to play this again because this is what they call fake news and misinformation from the Republican side. How are you going to listen to Joe Rogan? Because he's saying stuff like this.
Once. This is one of the reasons it freaked me out. And he was telling me, he goes, dude, one day, he goes, it's just going to be the right wind and fire's going to start in the right place and it's going to burn through LA all the way to the ocean. And there's not a thing we can do about it.
And that's what happened. And guess what? It could have been avoided. If you know something about if you know that a potential tragedy could happen, you avoid it. You do things to avoid it. That's what people do. It's people that carry their gun owners. You don't go certain places at certain times. You lock your doors. You put your alarm on. You prevent things from happening. So don't tell me that after something happens, we can't talk about why you didn't have preventative measures, especially when a lot of the stuff that they're doing was based on money, trying to save money, trying to not spend the money. But yet they'll put all this money up for all these other things. But then when it's to save the people who are here and the people who, especially we're talking about celebrities and all this different stuff, these people are paying all these taxes, and these guys are all these settlements and alimonies and all of this different stuff, but then you don't even spend the money the right way to protect the state. Get Gavin Newsom out of there. What you mean? We're not just only helping the victims. We're helping the victims and we're holding the politics accountable. You act like just because it was LA fire that now politicians don't have jobs anymore. No, yes, they do. And one of them is to hold Gavin Newsom accountable. So stop this, what y'all doing, talking about, why are they talking about politics? Same reason why y'all did during COVID. Stop playing stupid and do something about your bad politicians. Bottom line.